really beneficial. But what I find is it doesn't really taste that nice, but it's incredible. Like if you want to get rid of a lot of toxicity in a hurry, what I find is when you're detoxing, if you take rose oil, it seems to really get the toxins, the gel to it. And you see women, and especially nowadays, women are so convinced that, you know, you need this latest product, you need this makeup, you need this moisturiser, you need this. And seriously, I'm being as respectful as I can, but most of this stuff is absolute crap. Seriously, your true beauty you want to have to come from within. And taking stuff like rose oil, what you'll find is that you'll just have this natural suppleness and softness of skin just by taking the rose oil. Rose oil is absolutely amazing. And Marie was just saying at dinner time, she actually interviewed him about 10 or 12 years ago. Just if you want to share with us your experience of talking to him, if you remember what you...
Yeah, it would have been 12 years ago. I got to interview Dr. Udo Rasmus while I was working in a radio station. And what I remember mostly was the fact that he seemed to be at that time, you know, where I was in Ireland at that time, he seemed to be the only person talking about an alternative to what the doctors wanted to give you for keeping your heart healthy. And I found that absolutely, I was fascinated by it. And the interesting thing was that so were the listeners. You know, it was like, boom, reaction to what this man was saying, because it was almost like, yeah, well, you don't have to be taking this pharmaceutical product, there's a natural, and people were going, hang on a second, we've been hearing for decades, or I've been taking these tablets for years and years and years, and hang on, there's this guy on the radio now saying that you can take something natural to have the same effect. So it was like, boom. And then all of the health stores in that city reported back to us in the next couple of days that they were completely sold out of every one of his oil products. And I remember speaking with him, and he seemed to be very ethical, very in line. He'd done an awful lot of research into this. Seemed to be coming from the right. It wasn't about. To me, it appeared this wasn't about the money. This wasn't about the Dr. Udo's oil. This was more about, here is a way for people to be healthier, and it's your choice to give you an alternative than something pharmaceutical. And that's what really gelled with me, just as far as I can remember.
Yeah, and I have his book in the house, but I haven't fully read it. But I did a bit of photo reading years ago, and what I did is just I browsed through it, and the bits that I felt were relevant, I just felt my unconscious just flagged them up. And one of the things I remember reading about him was that he actually got poisoned himself. He's got some sort of PhD in like zoology or some bizarre thing. I can't remember what it was, but it was totally unrelated to health and what he did. But what had happened was that he became poisoned completely. He went to the doctors, the conventional GPs or whatever they had, and nobody could cure him. And they said, look, you know, you've got this, and that's the way it is. And he just absolutely refused to take that on board. He then went, he studied and studied and studied. He went into incredible detail about the oils, how they work, you know, how the toxins get into his body and the best ways to eliminate them. And in the end, after many years, he was able to completely clear himself of all the toxicity and poisoning. And in the process, learned an incredible amount about how oils work, how fats work, and all these different things. And if you ever do choose to use oil or any oil, if you're going to take rose oil, it must be stored out of light, and it must be stored in the fridge, because any oil that you use breaks down with the light or the heat. So you don't want to ever use it's like those sunflower oils and or vegetable oils. They are so bad, so toxic for you. What they do is to get the oil out of the sunflowers or the vegetables in the first place, is that they really process them at incredibly high temperatures, which then turns the oil black and burnt. They then put it through this really, I'm not sure, but I think it's a petroleum-based product called Drano, and what it does is it bleaches the oil. Then after that, what they find is that the oil, they bleach the oil, it has this horrible taste, so then they flavour it or they do something, but the process, the time they've got it to ready to the shelf, it's completely inedible or usable. It's so toxic. So if you can avoid any of those vegetable oils or sunflower oils, they've all been processed. And if you want to use, you know, like oils and salads and stuff, if you want to use olive oil, is so beneficial to you. but you don't want to use it or heat it, because at any time you heat oil, it breaks down really, really badly. So if you must fry or cook, I mean, you want to grill if you have to, but if you must fry something, then use something like coconut butter, or even natural animal fat like lard or whatever. But coconut oil I think is very good as well, or palm oil if you can get a good quality palm oil. But a lot of times the way it's processed is very hard to get a good quality oil. But oils are very, very important, and most of us have been trained as if, like, let's go for low fat. Your body absolutely must have fat in your body. It's so important that you can have fat. If you were buying stuff that didn't have any fat in them, you couldn't live without the fat. You would suffer like severe health consequences. But what you want to become aware of is getting high quality, good nutritious oils, and you'll get a lot of really good oils and things like almonds are really good. They're full of really good oils. Avocados are really high in fat, brilliant fats that really will heal you. And you'll get really bad fats and things like croissants and bakery products and stuff. A lot of times they'll just use very poor quality stuff. They'll use oils, especially if you notice now a lot of times if you see the drums, if you go into chippy or stuff, it'll be like extra light oil, and there'll be like an E number on it. But what they've done is they've found some way that the oil basically won't break down as quickly, or it'll last 2 or 3 times longer. And it may be great for the person that's cooking whatever they're cooking in it, but the long-term health consequences and effects on you are going to be detrimental. So you need to be very, very careful about your oils. And it's like vegetable. When you get margarine, what they do is they blast a lot of gas through those in the process that they do it. It's like margarines. You should not eat margarines. If you must eat butter, take pure butter. Anything that's easy spread, or you hear these ones like low in polyunsaturates and stuff, like, they're all crap. They are well marketed, and they've got people like the Heart Foundation or somebody like that to endorse them, but they definitely are not good for your body. It's like the Milk Marketing Board did an amazing job of convincing people that you should drink milk. Milk is complete crap and should not be in your body. And we've been taught from our child, milk's really good for you, milk's full of calcium. Milk is full of calcium, but it's in a I'm trying to think of the exact word. It's in a, not format, but it's in a way that your body cannot digest it. And most people are lactose intolerant. So, I take milk, but I only ever take it in my tea, and that's it. But I would never take it on a cereal, or I wouldn't use it at any other time. But there are other alternatives like rice milk, almond milk. At times now, I used to take soya milk, but I've been reading research recently that sort of says you really shouldn't be doing too much soya milk. It does contain a lot of estrogen as well, and that may be beneficial for certain people, but in a way, from my understanding, I won't be taking soya milk again. But it's probably 10 times better than cow's milk. The other thing, dairy products, all dairy products are not good for you. I personally do like the taste of cheese, but I don't eat it. Or maybe once a year, if I was in an Italian restaurant and I had like a good quality cheese and a spaghetti bolognese, I may take it then. But other than that, I will not eat cheese. Or even if you went to a Subway or you ever decide you want to have a burger, and I just completely avoid cheese. It produces huge amounts of mucus in your body, and it just burdens your body and it makes it very difficult for your body to eliminate it. So if you can avoid cheese and dairy products, it will significantly improve your health, especially for anybody that's got like any breathing difficulties or problems with mucus. Cheese and dairy products really clog you, really, really, really clog you. The next thing is, I was going to say is